What is going on, everybody? Patrick Quick here, and today I'm going to be going over a few items that I got on clearance, as well as some Yum products that I picked up from the good old bargain binge. I was scrounging around and found some pretty cool stuff. Now, the funny thing about this video, all this stuff is already opened, and the reason being is because of one of the Yum baits that I picked up. The packaging did not want to work, and it exploded, and it just so happened to stop my video, and I just was frustrated, and I was like, you know what? I was doing good because I do these in one takes usually because I don't really want to edit these too much. But it was just one of those moments where I had to clean off the computer because it had the oil all over it, and it was just a mess. So this video was supposed to be out last Friday, but it's going to be today's video now because of the little mishap with the Yum dingers that I purchased. So without further ado, a couple of these items that I picked up, they are not fishing related in the sense of catching fish, but it's equipment that you would take with you. And the first thing that I picked up comes with a nice little pouch from Ozark Trail. It is in collaboration with the Mossy Oak. It's got the Mossy Oak winter pattern on here, and it is a multi-tool. It's got the spring in here. These don't last too long in my experience, but when they go out, you can still use it. They'll get wet or rust out, or it just, over time, wear and tear, they just kind of give out. But overall, it's okay. You got your little cutter there for your braid or your line. The nice little pliers here so you can get the hooks out, especially if you're dealing with predator fish like muskie, pike, walleye. Don't want to get your fingers in there and get bit, or your hand, by those teeth. Nice to always have pliers on you to be able to do that. Now, if they're gut hooked, obviously that's not going to help, or if they're hooked farther down, it's not going to help. I do have a pair of surgical pliers that I bring with me all the time in case that happens. Otherwise, on some of the bigger fish, you can go behind their gill plate when it's a little bit farther down past there and get out the hook that way. But you have to be very careful and proceed with caution if you do that, because you do not want to nick those gills and potentially kill that fish. So just a little words of advice if you're going to try that way. Surgical pliers are always nice to have. If you don't have a pair, I highly recommend to get them, but these are normal good pliers. And these would also be good for, treble hooks for bass, treble hooks with catfish, or catfish in general. When I fish with treble hooks with catfish, they have that really rubbery, elastic kind of skin in the corner of their mouth if you get that good hook set, and they're a pain in the butt to get out with just your bare hands. So having a pair of these is really nice to have in that situation as well. The one side that we have on here, we have a serrated blade, a file, which will be nice to sharpen up some of those hooks if they start to dull on you, and two flathead screwdriver bits. The next one, or next side, we have the regular pocket knife. Always cut away from yourself when you're cutting something. Also has a bottle opener. And what on the packaging, this is called an AWL. I'll have to look that up because I have no idea what that means. And then a Phillips head screwdriver here. So overall, decent little tool. I usually carry a knife on me, and everything else is in the backpack for me to use. And this will be nice to just put on my belt. But nice little case, fits right in there. Belt strap, put it right there on my belt, and I'll be able to have this on me and have that multi-tool handy at all times instead of having to scrounge through the backpack, unless of course I would need that surgical plier. I paid $3 for that multi-tool. The next items that I'm going to show you, I also got for $3. The packaging is not here, unfortunately. Or yes, it is, I see it. It's hidden below the tape. $3 as well. And they are 32-ounce bottles of water. It's always important to stay hydrated, especially if you're out there for hours on end fishing. You got to keep hydrated, and more importantly, in the summer months or the warmer weather, you want to make sure that you stay hydrated. So for $1.50 basically a bottle for 32 ounces, nice stainless cap. I couldn't pass these up. Again, hydration is very important, and make sure you always stay hydrated when you're out there on the water or on the banks. So the next thing I'm going to show is some of these baby brush hogs. I already have a pack of these. If you've seen my previous videos, I did unbox or unpack and show some of these off. I got them for the same price. This was the last one on the shelf. They sold out of some of the lizards that were there on sale. And at my Walmart, their prices usually don't drop very often. So, you know, I scanned this guy on the scanner and he still was $3. So I was like, you know what, it's whatever. I'll just go ahead and stick to the price. It's the last bag. I'm going to grab it and they'll be used. Next up, I also got a hard bait. And top water is my confidence. So, especially with the hollow body frags. It's my favorite way to catch fish. It's my confidence. I know I catch fish doing it. Multiple different style hollow body frogs, it don't matter. I'm going to be doing the toads this year, the soft plastic toads for the top water. As you saw in a previous video, I did pick up some of those fairly cheap on clearance, and I also got a package today of the Yum brand. But I need to set aside time to try different top water baits, because let's say one day I'm out there and they don't really want the frog, but maybe they'll bite on something else, like a whopper plopper or a walkabout, or in this case, one of the most talked about and popular ones that I hear about all the time are the spook. So this little head and spook was in the little bargain bin. I like the fire tiger pattern on there, so I picked it up. I think this is called the Zara puppy, and it's a smaller profile, which the fish around me will like. The hooks are pretty sticky. It grabs pretty good there. Barely touched it and it grabbed a hold of my skin. So I'm not too worried about the hookup ratio on here. I'm not sure how strong the hooks are, if they'll bend out or not, but you know, for being about $3, I couldn't pass it up. It's, like I said, a smaller profile, and I'm hoping, you know, once I start using these and practicing with these, and I find out, you know, the best way to make them walk and stuff like that, it'll just attract the fish and make them hit. And with this fire tiger pattern, I'm also going to take it to the river and try it out there when the time comes. So, the next thing I'm going to get into is something I actually found at the Dollar Tree. And I totally forgot about it because it was buried here just a second ago. But we were walking around there and they have, you know, like little hardware boxes for $1. And I thought, okay, I'm going to pick one up. So for $1, you know, it's this thin little container. The grooves, it sits flat in there. So I was like, this would be good for terminal tackle, like my hooks, split shots, stuff like that. I'm not sure how well this latch is going to hold up because it is cheap. It's $1. However, it has a nice click, as you heard there, for latching. And with those grooves, I'm hoping that it doesn't spill into each other. And I'm going to try it as like a small terminal tackle box instead of using my one box that I have for my creek stuff. I'm going to implement this into some other stuff for the creek and pan fishing that I am not able to put in there because of the size of the compartments. So for $1, I thought that was really cool, and I'm going to give that a shot. The next thing that we have, I'm going to go ahead and just show you the culprit that decided to ruin the video for me. I think these are lemon swirl or something like that. When I was trying to find this color, and the picture on the internet really didn't do it justice. It just looked like completely orange. It didn't show the pink or the yellow in there, but I'm calling it sherbet. So this is the sherbet dinger that ruined my video. As you see, they're in a Ziploc baggie here, and this is the color here. They're orange, pink, and they have yellow. It'll be good for a wacky. It's got good motion. It's got the little split there for the hook, and it's a smaller size, so a smaller profile if you need to size down. But the bright colors, I was like, you know what, this might be good on the river. This might be good in the clear water. They'll see this. It's very, very, very bright, and they might be just like, wow, what is that? I'm going to go try it out, smack it, and I'm going to catch some fish. So that is the Yum Dinger, as I'm calling sherbet, because like I said, when I looked up the color, I didn't really see this color pattern very well on the pictures I was looking at. But if I had to guess, it might be the lemon swirl. The next thing that I was able to pick up, I don't have any of these styles, but I've heard a lot about them. And all these packs are $1.96, so you can't really beat them. And they're a soft plastic jerkbait, and it is the Houdini shell. There it is right there, the watermelon red. There's the profile with the tail. Now, the unique thing about the Houdini shad is you can use it for multiple things. I'm not going to rip it apart right now and show you all of those because I don't want to destroy a bunch of these before I get to use them. But this is perforated in here. So you can leave it like this, so it's like a paddle tail here in the back while you're jerking it. Or you can pop that out and it'll give it a little bit more of a sinking action. You know, this will make it stay floating more. If you pop that out, water will disperse through the tail and then it'll sink more. And then you can also rip it and take out all that, and you can make it a fork tail, or you can rip the side of it and leave this piece here, down here, and you can like basically rip it right here, and it'll be like a spiraling kind of tail that you see on like a cutter worm or something like that. So it's kind of like a cutter tail, and it'll have that weird action that will be in the back of there. So to have like a universally usable soft jerkbait that can turn into a bunch of different styles, I wanted to pick up a pack for $1.96. I couldn't beat it for a pack of 6, and this watermelon red is just a sick color. So that's a really cool find that I got, because I don't really see too many of these on the actual shelves. So to see them on the bottom in the bargain bin, I had to grab some. The next ones we have are the sapphire blue craws. My wife actually picked these out. She's getting into more of the bass fishing herself. And she's picking out all these crazy colors that she likes. But that's okay, because crazy colors work. And sapphire blue is one of those colors that are going to be very visible. It's a smaller profile, so she's going to be able to learn a lot easier on this, I believe, than something super big to kind of get the feel for it in the beginning. But I do love sapphire blue. The coloration is just a really, really cool pattern with the blue and the silver flake in there. It's just a good color in general. But these paddles on these claws was really unique. I haven't seen that. So when she picked these up, I was like, you know what? When it's time to use these, I'll try them with you, and we'll see how they act and stuff like that, because they're really, really unique. The next thing that we have are a well-known color, June bug, and it is the ribbon tail. It's got the flat bottom here, nice profile. You see that June buggy color. It's got this purpling in the tail. Now, when she picked these out, my wife, I told her that it was a great pick. And the reason being is because when you are learning how to fish soft plastics for bass, one of the go-to things that I would recommend is a worm like this that you can swim. You can do it weightless, you can put a little bit of weight on the end like a Texas rig, and you can just swim it, and that curly tail is going to go crazy, and they're just going to come up and annihilate it. And it's one of the easier ways to get introduced to the soft plastics. So I thought that was really cool. In the color pattern, June bug is a known bass killer, so it was a really nice pick that she made, and I can't wait to go out on the water with her and see what she gets swimming one of those around and learning that technique. That's one of the best things about having somebody, not only my kids, but my wife being so much engaged with wanting to learn more things with fishing. You know, as I develop my skills, she's like, I want to catch the bigger fish too. You know, because usually it's just panfish with the kids, and the kids are catching striper and stuff like that on the bottom of the water with a piece of nightcrawler on the end of a hook with just a little split shot. And she's like, why are they catching bigger fish than I am? Well, they're on the bottom of the water, and you're using the bobber. You can get big stuff, but it doesn't happen as much. And on the bottom, those striper were just nailing it that day. So that kind of gave her the inspiration and boost to want to try more stuff as well. So that's just kind of cool how everything kind of unfolded with our family. And everybody's just really into fishing right now, which is awesome for me because my grandfather is the one who introduced me to it. I caught my first bass on a bobber with a night crawler, ironically enough, in Lodi, Wisconsin, where he had a camper, and I grew up going fishing with him as a child. And it was the best times of my life, and he taught me a lot of things, but I didn't use very much stuff when I was fishing with him. It was usually just bobber fishing with night crawlers and also rooster tails, because he would take us out on the striper run on Lake Wisconsin, and they were smashing rooster tails like crazy. Don't ever take time for granted. Time's the one thing we can't get back. Go make memories. Go cherish those moments with your family. Get pictures. Hang them up all over the wall and make sure that you remember it for all times. You know, my grandfather, I have pictures of him that still hang on my wall because I don't want his memory to ever leave, because he helped me develop my love for fishing. So that's my little spiel there. I'll get off into the last bait here, and I'll let this go. I'm going a little long today. It'll run probably around 20 minutes. The last thing we have are those top water toes, and these ones are by Yum. They have like a natural color to them. It's kind of like that green pumpkin on the top there, and then this like pearl yellowish belly, like a bullfrog color almost, or a natural color. It's got gold, green, black flake in there. And I like these because of these huge ridges on this like grub ribbon style tail, or this grub tail type of deal with these ridges. It's really going to pick up the water, spud it around in the back there. And the profile of these, they're a little bit slimmer than the KVD ones. So I'm thinking that maybe it would help with the hook set because of the slimmer profile. They're also a lot sleeker in design, like lengthwise. It tapers. And these little marks here, I'm pretty sure are for like the double frog hook. So if you use one of those, I'm pretty sure they would sit back here and snug right in there, text posed. And then when it comes and grabs it, it's just going to get hooked as soon as you set that hook. So maybe I'll pick up some of those, and I'll rig one of these up so you can see how that's done as well, because I'm pretty sure that's what that's for. But that's everything that I picked up. There is going to be more videos coming out. There may be an extra one this week because of the fact that I did run a little bit behind last week because of the whole ordeal with those Sherbird dingers. And as always, if you like this video, hit that like button, hit that red subscribe button and the bell notification so you never miss one of my videos. And I appreciate every single one of you. Thanks for sticking with me, and I'll catch you all later.